helpful if you would call and find out where I have to go. Tammy can't pop to it too. Thank you.
With one tap, you have access to recent push. Version or download the WTRF 7 News app in your Apple or Google Play Store by searching WTRF.
Wheeling Coin and Hobby on 10th Street in Wheeling, next to the Bridge Tavern in downtown Wheeling, wants to buy any and all unwanted gold and silver jewelry. They are paying top dollar for 10, 14, 18, and 22 karat gold plus 925 sterling silver. They also want to buy collectible coins and paper money from before 1933. Wheeling Coin and Hobby is open daily from 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. Monday through Saturday. Coin and Hobby, 304-232-8430, and add them on Facebook.
Highland Sports Complex is the coolest destination for sports and entertainment the Ohio Valley has ever seen. Pop in for some open basketball in our field house or reserve some turf time for your next practice or game on our synthetic fields. Online registration is open for development classes and leagues for youth and adults. Highland Sports is also the hottest destination for birthday parties and other events. So come challenge yourself on our play climb and enjoy your favorite virtual reality game in the arcade. No memberships required, so visit highlandsports.com to find your next entertainment experience and get ready to reach new heights.
Hi, this is Stacy Spry from Spry's Mail Center Plus. It's that time of year to get your packages to your loved ones for the holiday. We send UPS, FedEx, DHL, and the United States Post Office. We're also the official shipper for Ohio Valley favorites like Patsy's Pizza, Figueretti spaghetti sauce, Jebbia's fruit baskets, and Coleman's fish. Just give us a call and we'll make all the arrangements. As always, we do copies, faxes, emails, scanning, mailbox rental, and much more. Once again, we're teaming up with WKKX for Letters to Santa, so have your kiddos stop by with their letters to read on air by Santa himself. For any shipping or office needs, call me, Stacy Spry, at 304-232-1885. And finally, thank you for giving my family the pleasure of serving you and your family for over 14 years. Happy holidays from all of us at Spry's Mail Center Plus.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy all types of real estate completely as is. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Hello, everyone, from the Watchdog. I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your start to the work week. A mix of clouds and sunshine this afternoon, a high near 46. Call it partly cloudy overnight with a low of 26. And then for your Tuesday, you'll see a mix of clouds and sunshine with highs in the low to mid 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Welcome back, gang. Welcome back.
Oh, no. Not this again.
Yes, this again.
And what exactly is this?
Exactly what is this?
This is a Monday.
Monday.
Yeah, that's what I was afraid of.
I need a pep talk.
We could use the pep talk right now.
That's a pep talk?
It's the best I got.
Best one I got.
Guess that means we should get back to work.
It's showtime!
We're jingling your bells all holiday long. This is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe, FM 98.1 and 97.7.
And it is the first day of Christmas week. A handful of days left for you to get your shopping done. Man, Biffy, I was at the mall, not the Highlands, but at the mall over the weekend. Oh, Lord, were they packed. Which is a good thing. It means business is up and people are shopping. But my wife wanted to go to the Highlands. I said, look, it's the last day. It's the last weekend day before Christmas. We just saw what the mall was like. I ain't going to the Highlands. Just no. We'll do it this week, maybe when things aren't that bad. Hey, what a zoo! What a zoo!
Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to venture up to the Highlands probably sometime today, maybe in the early afternoon, and pick up a few things, and hopefully the crowd won't be as bad. Not bad. It's a good thing that it's there, but not as crowded as the weekend, let's say.
Yeah, I figure, the last weekend before Christmas, it's weird this year because, of course, Christmas is on Saturday. Normally we might get an extra weekend, but Christmas on Saturday, Christmas Eve Friday, so, everybody was packing it into this past weekend, but oh, my Lord. Every time I look around, I thought I was going to see another accident in the parking lot, People are trying to get a parking space. Oh, my Lord. Again, it's a good thing. I mean, it's wonderful to say. It reminded me of the old days. You'd see all these people out shopping around. Now, when I say we went to the mall, my wife actually went into the mall. I took a nap in the car. That's But she came back real quick. She said, "Oh my Lord, oh, it's a zoo in there. I can't take it." So I think you're smart, Bippy. You're probably okay today. And again, it's a good thing. I love to see the mall and the Highland busy. Center Wheeling had a lot of folks down there. I noticed over the weekend. So there you go. Listen, it's 28 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. Temperature hasn't changed much all morning long. 28 at the airport, 27 here at my home studios, 26 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios, downtown Wheeling in the heart of the Ohio Valley. Today and most of this week, we are going to be mid-40-ish, looking for a high 43 today, for example. And most of this week, it'll be sunny, maybe a few clouds mixing in later in the week. This will be the sunniest day of them all. We'll have overnight lows, though, down into the high 20s. So that's what you have to look forward to. And Aaron Myler tells us there will be no snow on Christmas unless something changes. The big story of the day has been the Senator Manchin story. Joe Manchin made a firm no on the Build Back Better bill over the weekend, and that probably means there will be no Build Back Better bill. The Biden administration was pretty ticked off, and their response was not a happy one with Joe Manchin. We have been looking at some of the reactions and implications of that, particularly in the Mountain State. Senator Manchin, and I say this every time, I like Joe Manchin. I do. I know, but I don't know where his head is at with this. This is a bill that would bring huge benefits to the lower and middle income in this state, to the working poor who need it dramatically. The child care tax credit in particular, child care in general, family leave, that was cut out anyways. But, I mean, these are things that would bring direct benefit to the people of the state who need it, the people who need it. And I know Senator Manchin's concerned about the climate part of the bill, and I know he's concerned about the cost of the bill, although the Biden administration and the Democrat leadership have really worked to try to diminish those concerns as much as possible. It's hard for me. It's like when I talked with Alex Mooney from the House earlier this month, and he was trying to explain why he voted against funding roads and bridges in West Virginia. And I just shake my head. I don't get it. I don't understand it. So anyways, we've been talking about that quite a good bit. If you want to offer some thoughts, use the text line, 304-214-1600. I want to mention, you could also tweet me at any time. My Twitter handle is Radio Monroe. More and more activity happening on Twitter. So feel free to tweet me, Radio Monroe, if you would like to as well. In a minute or two, State Senator Owens Brown is here with us. We talked about the Cold War last hour and the Red Menace. There's going to be a People's University event tomorrow night at the Ohio County Public Library. Dr. Hal Gorby, a Wheeling Jesuit University graduate, now a WVU history professor, was with us and will be leading the conversation tomorrow night at People's University at the library about the Cold War and the Red Scare, so-called McCarthy era, if you will. Coming up, 3 retired generals say they are chilled to the bone about another coup attempt, about the possible breakdown in military chain of command, and the fact that nobody seems to be getting ready for this distinct possibility. I'll share with you what they had to say in a Washington Post editorial coming up. Plus, apparently, one local school, you have to go online and fill out a form if you have to go pee-pee. Biff and I were talking about that. In a minute or two, a multi-million-dollar comic book sale. I think you might find an interesting story as well. And Biff, before I get to Senator Brown, I should mention one other thing because it's important that people be prepared for this for tomorrow. The exit to downtown Wheeling off the Fort Henry Bridge opens tomorrow, right?
Yes, it does.
So it's been closed for, 6 months or so? I lose track of time. So you had to go all the way through if you want to go downtown Wheeling, you're coming east on the Fort Henry Bridge. You had to go through the tunnels, get off at 16th Street, get off the ramp there, swing around to 16th Street, go all the way back through town. And if you're going to Warwood, you had to go through town, then up over the hill into Warwood and so on. As of tomorrow, all things working out as planned, the I-70 exit to downtown Wheeling will be open starting tomorrow. So I guess that's good news. And then, of course, I saw all these social media people, that was posted on social media under the police department's account or some account, maybe City of Wheeling. And then I see, well, that's great. So it'll just be easier to get to all the bad roads in Wheeling. Be easier just to go down. Now we can just get into the downtown, the ghost town faster. Some people.
This is Bill.
Downtown's not a ghost town. Lots of things. Oh, did we lose it again, Biffy? All right, play a little bit more, and I'm gonna actually hang up and reconnect again. Just see if that'll. Okay, hold on. At 7 p.m. Sit back and relax to a slew of holiday selections, classic and new. Admission is $10. Wine available by donation. More info at strandtheaterwv.com. And happy holidays from the Watchdog.
Oh, there's something so real about living local. And I know without a doubt I'm not alone. And I'm loving living local. There's nowhere else I'd rather be. Said I'm loving living local. WTRF is working for me. The Ohio Valley is where I love to be.
It all comes down to this. Biden, Pelosi, and the extremists in Congress are on the verge of passing a multi-trillion-dollar spending spree, including taxpayer funding for abortion, even for painful late-term abortions. The only thing standing between us and their plans to bankrupt America.
Okay, I'm back, Biff. Hopefully it'll last.
Intent on forcing West Virginians to pay for abortion on demand, even up to the moment of birth, when babies can feel excruciating pain. Call Senator Joe Manchin at 202-224-3954 and tell Manchin to keep standing strong. Stop their reckless spending and don't force West Virginians to pay for abortions. Paid for by Susan B. Anthony List.
Miss a part of the show? Want to hear a segment again? Check out our podcast page at watchdognetwork.com. The Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
All right, Biff, who do you think it was? Usually when we get disconnected, my connection from the home studio got cut off. That's usually because somebody ticked me off. Or I ticked somebody off. You think it was Buckeye Local?
May have,
man, because I was talking about their PP plans?
may have been. I don't know.
Senator Manchin, maybe? I don't think so. I don't know. Maybe Santa Claus didn't like the fact that I said I looked like Santa Claus.
Could be.
I don't know. All right, he's waited long enough, and we've had a hard time connecting anyways. I feel terrible that we had to ask State Senator Owens Brown to wait a bit longer. But Owens, it's good to talk to you. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, how you doing, Howard?
You have covered the legislature. You've been down there in your real job capacity for a number of years. You know how it works. But is it different now that you carry the title of state senator? Now you're looking at things from the other side?
Of course. It's a lot different. You begin to see all sides of all issues, whether it's brought forward. And then you can have a different focus because prior to this time, I had a single focus on things, but now I have a different focus on many different things of all aspects of governing the state.
Have you been welcomed in by your colleagues, Democrat and or Republican?
Oh yes, they've been very nice to me, and also very helpful. I don't care what side of the aisle they sit on; they've all been very helpful, to me, and they seem to accept me as their colleague from the very first day because they're all elected officials coming from different areas of the state. So they're all individuals, and they've been pretty helpful to me in finding my way around and with procedures and how things work.
Yeah, I mean, it is again, you've covered it, so you know it very well, but it's still the procedures, the rules of the Senate, and so on. They're complicated. I mean, I know I don't understand them, and I've only been on the outside looking in too, but just trying to follow how it all works is complicated. You've been to an interim session, I think, but the real session's coming up, so it's going to be some pretty intense work. What are you hearing, by the way? What's going to happen in this session? What are you hearing from your colleagues?
Well, the big thing is, people are also talking about reducing taxes on business, things like that. And that's going to be a real focus, and also focusing on, pay raises and those particular issues for state employees.
Governor Justice has proposed, pardon me, a 5% pay raise for teachers and other state employees, I guess all state employees, or almost all, and also a 2.5% bonus. What's he called? An inflation onus or something? He's got some funny name for it. But a one-time only bonus in addition to the ongoing 5% raise. Are you supportive of both of those?
Yes. I mean, for an immediate type of solution to help offset, the inflation at this point in time. The thing we got to be guarded against is that this PEIA doesn't raise its prices and eat up the pay raise. We should have a system in place that constantly gives teachers and education and public employees pay raises, because they take one step forward and two steps backwards. There should be a dedicated amount to get us at least to the national average, especially with the education system. And also to keep workers here. As you know, across the nation, there is a labor shortage. And there's also a teacher shortage. Now, I'm going to focus on public schools, although there's, the other public employees. But focusing on public schools, for example, if I am a bus operator in a public school, I could go out and with my CDL license and get a job driving tractor trailers. And you see it all the time, that tractor trailers be riding down the road saying you can make $2,500 a week for driving this truck. So what is to keep bus operators in West Virginia? There's a real shortage of those. And the same thing with teachers. When teachers in West Virginia, especially in this northern panhandle, can go right across the border to Ohio or to Pennsylvania and get a lot more money. So, with the pay. So we need to have more incentives to keep our teachers here. When you keep these teachers here, you keep their families here, and it's a stabilizing situation, because, we've lost a great number of people in this area, a great number of young people, especially like teachers, who are willing to move away from this area to get better jobs and even get out of the teaching profession, because so many other professions pay so much more.
Well, and as you point out, they don't have to go far if you're in the northern panhandle or the eastern panhandle. Just literally go right across the border, and you see a dramatic increase in teachers. And again, we're talking about teachers. I know other state employees are involved in this, but teachers and service personnel, bus drivers, and so on, they can go right across a border. Don't even have to move. Just literally just get a job across the border to make more money, and that's a real serious problem. And then, Owens, and I know as a newcomer, all new elected officials want to try to be as collegial as possible. But I have felt for some time, and I don't know how you felt on the outside looking in, you may have a different perspective now, I felt the current leadership in the legislature, House and Senate, have been very anti-teacher. Now, they've given some pay raises, and I commend them for that. about the movement towards charter schools, towards, education savings accounts, and those sorts of things, have not been very supportive of public schools. So I think we're talking about trying to find long-term solutions, and at the same time, we're finding ways to drive them out. You don't have to agree with that. That's just my opinion.
Yes, a lot of people in the legislature, they look at, they become business friendly. I'll go back to the 1990s when they had the super tax credits, which gave businesses these, I think, hundreds of millions of dollars of tax credits to create jobs. But when you give all these tax credits to businesses, no tax go into the pot, so there's no money for pay raises and things of that nature. I don't know if these people are anti-education or basically, don't want to pay for better education for teachers. Better pay for teachers and public servants, and I've always said that there could be a factor in giving more money to state employees and teachers. That money goes right back into the economy and turns over a number of times back, not giving them more money. There's less money in the economy, so it's really would generate more money if you give teachers higher and public employees more money, because this money would turn over at least 8 times in a community. And I don't know why they don't seem to understand that money creates money.
Yeah, and of course the long-term effect is simply we end up with a better educated state. Yes, there's an economic value to it, and I think that we overlook that, and I think that's a great point that you make. But, Owens, we have a tendency, legislative leadership right now has a tendency to overlook history, to overlook the fact that, trickle-down economics doesn't work, tax cuts don't work for the businesses. They would work if we had tax cuts for middle-class people. And we always talk about losing our children. Might be easier to keep them if we educated them better. This is just thoughts of mine. I think that. Do you think there will be much emphasis on education this year, or the legislature's done a lot of things in recent years? Pay raise is going to be on the table. My guess is it's probably going to pass. It sounds like both House and Senate leadership are supportive of it, and the governor proposed it. I'm not 100% sure about the bonus, but pay raise will pass. Other than that, do you think there will be education issues coming forward?
Well, education is always a big issue with the state of West Virginia. Ever since, I worked with the WVEA for 28 years, and I don't remember legislative session that education wasn't a main focus. But we have to watch out for those issues of the cultural war type issues with education. I keep hearing their particular critical race theory might end up coming.
Critical race theory
within the schools, but they're doing that for political points. But that's what I keep hearing from the outside. Those particular cultural issues may be raising their heads in the legislature with some people, because this is going to be an election year, and so people are looking at any way they can gain any type of advantage over another constituent.
Yeah, this legislature has been, and I think will be, focusing a lot on these, to use your word, and I agree with it, cultural issues. Critical race theory has become this big deal, and it has no implication really for education in West Virginia. We don't teach it. And really what critical race theory is simply teaching history. Teaching that we have a history of racism in this country. Doesn't mean that we are today terrible and evil people, but it means that we have done some pretty bad things in the past. And what's the old saying, Owens? You can't, if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it. But that's one that's going to come up, I guarantee you. There's a lot of things that will probably come up this year. Speaking of this being an election year, are you going to run? Are you going to run for this seat? You were appointed this seat. Are you going to run for the seat, or is this going to be a short-term thing for you?
Well, I'm still considering it. I've talked to some people I'm trying to do some polling to see how things look. And, I'm still toying with the idea, I hate to say toying with the idea, but thinking about it. How can I best serve my community, because a lot of times when you're on the outside looking in, I can serve a different way. But inside, I can serve another way, being part of the Senate. So it's I'm wrestling with this idea.
And Senator, again, the session starting here in a couple weeks on the 12th.
Correct, but I'll be down on the 9th for committee meetings starting up on the 9th.
And what? Oh, hang on. I think we got Howard back with us. Howard, is that you?
It is me. We are jinxed this morning, Biff. I don't know what it is. Owens, I apologize for that, but I was starting to ask you. I don't know if you responded because I lost connection. Have you had a chance to talk to the citizens of this area about your, what kind of response have you gotten since you've been in office?
I get some very positive responses from the citizens in this area. I was up in with the people in Brooke and Hancock County a week or so ago, the committees up there. And it got a very positive type of response from the people. And even in Ohio County, the same way. I did not seek this position out. They came to me and asked me. And in the beginning, I was somewhat reluctant to put my name out there on as one of the 3 people who the governor could select. I was reluctant in the beginning. Then they said, well, why not? Because you've done stuff for the last umpteen years in this community. So let's try a different approach. So that's how it really came about. I was based.
So you're still debating whether to run as a full-time candidate or whether to let this be an interim position that you'll fill. But you're still going to be here for next year. I mean, through the next. Yes. I think that's the way where you would be here for the entire session. You may not have had a chance to talk to people in Charleston to see if this is the case or not. Do you anticipate, or have you heard any anticipation of the governor revisiting his income tax reduction proposal?
No, I haven't at this time. I mean, I have a caucus meeting every Monday at 4 on Zoom, and that issue hasn't come up with the Democratic caucus as of yet.
Your caucus is getting smaller, or will likely get smaller. I mean, it's already getting smaller, people resigning and so on, but Owens, you've watched the legislature for a long time. You've watched the transition, as I have, from a overwhelming Democrat majority to a supermajority now of Republicans. And the minority party, the Democrats are, 11 in the Senate now, I think? Is that right?
Correct.
You guys could just, you could meet at Taco Bell or something. You don't need a meeting room.
Yeah. I do understand that, I see that, but, once states turn pretty much red or conservative, but things can always turn back. I have a feeling when I talk to people that the political class that you see may be hard right or strong red, but when you start talking to the people, you see that there's a lot of flexibility in their opinions on things. They might have strong opinions about some things, but they have also strong opinions about other things that, they can go both ways. But it seems that over the years, especially with the way these communities are set up, the power structure might be very red, but the people who they govern is not as straighten as they are. So that's how I see what I see.
Yeah, and I think we see that in even like with this Build Back Better bill that's a big controversy on Capitol Hill. You see an awful lot of citizens of the state saying they support at least some of the measures in it, even though the Republican Party is adamantly opposed to it because it's considered to be a liberal socialist bill. But if you ask individual people in the state, do you support this, this, and this, they tend to say yes. So we are a red state by definition. We are a red state by voter registration and by vote. And certainly the legislature is a supermajority red. But I think your point is well taken. We may not be a red state. We just vote red as opposed to blue right now. And it's always possible it could change back. I think there are a few Democrats across the state who are trying to re-energize the party a little bit and work harder to try and get maybe some more Democrats elected. So, and the other thing I'm seeing, Owens, and you probably see it again, even from the outside looking in, the Republican leadership is, I think, pretty far right. But the Republican Party, even in the legislature, isn't always as far right as the leadership is. And we saw that last year in a couple of times when the rank and file kind of bucked heads with the leadership. So, we call it a red state. It's a red legislature. But maybe we can get down to talking about issues and sway some minds. I don't know.
Well, I think, with me being there in the legislature, seems as though I'm able to talk to a lot of the Republicans. I mean, especially in private and social settings, and you get a different feel for these individuals. And a lot of times they just need a different point of view, or maybe bringing something to their attention, because I think that's been one of the problems. People seem to feed off of old ideas, and this is the way that it's been done. This is the way it's always going to be done until something's different that's introduced to them or sitting down, and they can basically see a different approach. And I just think that by me being there and sitting, having these conversations with a number of them, then, it seems to help. They become a little bit more sensitive or more introspective of different ideas.
I want to know, because of your background, and we've talked about this already, that education is a big issue for you, and teachers are a great concern for you. You've worked with the Education Association in the past. What other areas of concern do you, as an individual senator, want to try to see addressed, or want to try to at least get some conversation going?
Well, I think one of the things that we need to do in this state is to rehabilitate the image of West Virginia. What I mean by that is this. West Virginia has been stigmatized with a state that has a very serious drug problem. When I listened to Mayor de Blasio from New York last week talking about the overdose centers they were putting up in New York City, then he brings up West Virginia's name. New York, West Virginia, with a drug problem. And I feel as though that we have to figure out a way of getting a hold of this problem and managing it, because it's a destabilizing issue, a destabilizing factor. Drugs, this drug problem destabilize families, it destabilize communities, destabilize businesses, because of the high rate of people absentee in businesses. And also, a lot of families, especially grandparents and things, now are watching their grandchildren in their golden years because of someone has a drug problem. And when a business looks into the state of West Virginia, wants to move here, they're going to move their families here. And they look at that drug problem, they might say, hey, wait a minute, why should I move my business to a state that has a drug problem? I don't want my children growing up in an area or a state that has a drug problem. And that's the thing that I'm really concerned about. How do we get a hold of this particular problem and try to get the stigma off of West Virginia because it's out there, even though it might not be the same as.
It's a fair image to get out there, though, because the truth of the matter is we do have a very bad drug problem. Now, I think your point is, in order to change that image, we have to address the drug problem more seriously, more aggressively, which I think makes a lot of sense. And that seems to be an issue that is not necessarily Democrat or Republican. So I think if good proposals come forward, you might be able to get some good bipartisanship going on this drug issue, because it is a huge issue. It is a real issue. And it is, you're right, it leads to a really bad image for the state. Now, I would say some other things lead to that bad image as well. The fact that we seem to be very anti-gay. We seem to be pretty anti-everything right now. If you're not a straight white Christian, you're not particularly welcomed in this state, and I think that's bad for our image. We don't embrace anything that looks like new technology. We cling to the past. Again, I'm lecturing. I apologize for that. But I think you're right in terms of our image is bad. I think some of it is legitimate, and some of it we could fix pretty quickly if we just got a little bit more open-minded.
Yeah, and that's what I'm looking at. You know, the problems in West Virginia are long-term issues that needs to be corrected. There are some things that could be fixed very quickly, such as, you know, figuring out how to deal with this drug problem and families and our school systems. When you talk about image, too, I think also by being out amongst the people in West Virginia, a lot of the issues are, I think, exploited or exaggerated, because I don't really think that West Virginia has any greater amount of, let's say, white Christian conservatives, that particular image, as other places. But it seems as though when something happens here, it just seems to focus on those bad things or those particular issues. But with me traveling throughout the state, you know, I've met so many people over the years, and they're very good people and friendly people. Because, you know, I used to work down in the counties of Doddridge, Ritchie, when I was working at WVEA. People were very friendly people. Never had any problems with anything. But when something does happen, it seems it hits national exposure, which also adds to the image of West Virginia, which I think sometimes is also unfair.
Yeah, I would agree with you. Owens, I got you on late, and we had some technical problems. I have to move on, take care of some other business. So I want to thank you for joining. I know we had a hard time connecting. Hopefully we can connect easier as the times go by, because I would love to get you on. I know Senator Ehlenfeld, who had the seat before you, was on with us almost every week during the session. I'd love to get you on a frequent basis to kind of tell us what you're thinking and what's going on down there. Hopefully that's okay with you. And,
yeah, that'd be great.
We'll try to connect up again soon. I do appreciate your time today. I do have to move on. Thanks a lot. And
okay, thank you.
Good luck. Good luck.
Yeah, I'll need it. Okay, bye-bye.
I appreciate it. Owens Brown, new state senator, taking the Bill Ehlenfeld vacated when he moved back to his position at the U.S. Attorney's Office. So there you go. Biffy, I'm sorry I screwed this whole thing up. Not me, those damn technical problems. But let's try and get whatever necessary commercials in we have to get in right now at 13 to the hour.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty, and I buy houses as is, fast for cash. Call me today for an all-cash offer on any of your properties, and we can close within days at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. Give us a call today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. 2000. Would it be convenient for you if you could simply take what you wanted and leave the rest behind? Great, I'll buy it. I buy all types of real estate completely as is. I buy vacant properties, inherited homes, divorce situations, death in the family, apartment buildings, rental portfolios. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Call TurboTrack Realty today for an all-cash offer and speak with one of our friendly staff members at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
West Virginia Metro News, I'm Jeff Chink, and Jury Senator Joe Manchin is scheduled to be a guest next hour on Metro News Talkline after his announcement Sunday on Fox News Sunday that he cannot support the Biden administration's Build Back Better plan. Manchin says the $1 trillion+ bill for so-called human infrastructure is too much to tackle.
There's a lot of good, but that bill is a mammoth piece of legislation, a mammoth piece. And when it's done even through regular order, it would be a tremendous, huge undertaking.
Supporters of Build Back Better hope to regroup. U.S. Senator Shelley Capito has expressed her opposition against Build Back Better on a number of occasions. Capito says many West Virginians are uncomfortable about the current administration.
It's one of uncertainty. It's a concern for the future.
Metro News reporter Alex Thomas has a detailed year in review story with Capito posted this morning at WVMetroNews.com. First Energy and its company, Mom Power, want to charge customers more in order to pay for required upgrades at two power plants in north central West Virginia. The company has filed for a $142 million rate hike. Spokesman Will Boy with the numbers.
The initial impact for the average residential customer would be about 51 cents per month, and that would start in 2024.
Boy says the work plan for the Harrison Power Station and the Fort Martin Power Station includes some new wastewater treatment projects meeting federal EPA guidelines. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. State Attorney General Patrick Morrisey is scheduled to discuss an energy case before the U.S. Supreme Court during a news conference at 10 this morning. West Virginia Coal Association President Chris Hamilton scheduled to join Morrisey. A former nationally recognized school counselor from Kanawha County is scheduled to be in court today on a child pornography charge, several charges. Todd Rotze now faces those multiple charges after a superseding indictment was handed up last week by a federal grand jury. That arraignment will take place in Charleston today. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Jeff Jenkins.
At Heinz Field, another thriller for the Steelers. They took advantage of 4 turnovers by the Tennessee Titans on their way to a 19-13 victory. This is head coach of the Steelers, Mike Tomlin.
The turnovers leveled the playing field in the second half and provided the short fields for us, and that was the catalyst for us to go ahead and secure victory.
The Titans could not hold on to the football. This was a disappointed head coach of the Titans, a former Pittsburgh Steeler, Mike Frabel.
The turnovers, we have to hold the ball in much more regard. You know, obviously you can't do that and think you're going to win. That's what I appreciate about this team is that they battle and make it so hard on ourselves.
Ben Roethlisberger moved past Phillip Rivers into 5th place on the National Football League all-time yards passing list.
At this point in the season, we'll take them any way we can get them. A lot of props to our defense, obviously stepping up, getting us chances. We didn't do enough on offense, but like I said, at this point in the year, you'll take a win any way you can get them.
With the W, the Steelers improved to 7-6-1. How about the Baltimore Ravens? They went for a 2-point conversion. Does this sound familiar? To try and pull out a win, but failed, losing to Green Bay 31-30. Cincinnati, believe it or not, atop the AFC North with a 15-10 win over the Broncos in Denver. And how about this upset? Detroit beat Arizona 30-12. This is Lions head coach Dan Campbell.
But I don't see it as a statement, this league, anybody can win, anybody can lose. But I know this, our guys were prepared, we were ready to go, and that was a good win.
And Sunday night, the Saints shut out the Buccaneers 9-0. This is Tom Brady.
I don't think we were, much good of anything tonight. I wish it was just one thing. It was a lot of things. So we got to do better in every facet of offensive football to score points. We're not going to win scoring no points.
Here's your Penguin update. They beat the New Jersey Devils 3-2. Teddy Bluger scored a short-handed goal.
You know, we're pretty good at times, but just seemed like there wasn't a whole lot of rhythm, especially offensively for us. So, yeah, it was just kind of digging in deep and finding a way to get it done.
By the way, 7 straight wins for the Penguins. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
The Variety Show with Bill DeFabio is live on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We talk to some of the region's best business owners while keeping you informed about area events and happenings. You won't believe who I have on next. Tune in and get with the program. Guests from preachers to pros and even some Super Bowl champions. Join me, Bill DeFabio, from noon to 2 for The Variety Show on the Watchdog.
Our countdown to Christmas continues on the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe on AM 1600 and 1370.
You're a bad banana with a greasy black peel.
Yeah, I mentioned grandson Teddy went to the Greenbrier for their Greenbrier Christmas celebration this past weekend, and he had dinner at Whoville, and the Grinch was there. And he told me, he says, "Granddad, I know it wasn't the real Grinch." I said, "Well, how do you know?" He said, "Because I could see the back of his head. The guy didn't have, the Grinch character didn't have a total thing over his face. He just put a face mask on." Teddy looked around and said, "I see some real person in the back there." For God's sake, at the Greenbrier, you'd think they could get a real Grinch, wouldn't you?
One would think.
I would think so. This man is no Grinch. He shares what he has. When it comes to news, Bob Westfall from the... Good morning, Bob.
Morning, Howard. How are you?
Let's see. We've had all kinds of technical problems this morning. But other than that, I'm...
Welcome to my world.
I understand you. I know you know that just as well. Yes, exactly.
All right.
But we persevere.
What did you break?
See, sometimes I think it's... When I talk about certain subjects, I think the subject of those subjects get upset and pull the plug. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, I understand.
You know, it's like I was talking about Senator Manchin. I'm wondering if he just didn't like it and pulled the plug. I don't know.
Wow.
I'm never sure.
Well, that's always a possibility, I guess.
I guess so. What are you working on today? You going to do follow-ups on the Manchin story at all?
We're going to work. I know there's a protest at his office in Charleston. I'm sure Mark or somebody will be there. Somebody from a sister station will be there covering that, so we're going to follow it up that way. Got some calls out on that. So, yeah, we're going to see what the ramifications are. AOC was already on MSNBC this morning calling out the whole Democratic leadership, so I saw that this morning. A lot of the progressives are saying, we told you this was going to happen. So be interesting to see how those two sides of that one party, if there's any chance to bring it back together. Hearing some rumblings, too, about maybe Joe should just move to the Republican Party. Nobody of any consequence has said that to us yet, but it'll be curious. I know Shelley Moore Capito earlier had mentioned that it had been brought up, but she had told Joe that, you are the Democratic Party in West Virginia. So that's interesting. So we'll see where those comments go and what's going to happen. So
Mitch McConnell said over the weekend or late last week that he has frequently encouraged Manchin to turn Republican, but McConnell also says, I don't think it'll ever happen, and I would concur with that. Now, it is conceivable to me that someday Joe Manchin may decide he's not comfortable enough with the blowback he's going to get from this, for example. He may become independent, but still caucus with the Democrats, but kind of take himself out of the party. I think that is a possibility. Not a high one, but a possibility. I don't think there's any chance he'd ever turn to Republican. But, these days, who knows?
Right. I'm sure his uncle would be spinning in his grave.
Yeah, exactly.
So
what else are you working on?
All right. A couple other things we're working on today. We're going to check in with Howard Gamble, some of the latest numbers. Numbers are up pretty much across the board. So we're going to check in with Howard Gamble as we head into the Christmas season. A lot of people getting together, things like that for Christmas. Excuse me. So we're going to get his thoughts on what people need to do to be safe about that. So we're going to try and track that down and get with Howard this morning. So we do have that. Excuse me, the ramp to downtown from I-70 would be eastbound to downtown. Will open tomorrow. We're excited about that. We're going to do a preview. Talk to Wheeling Police about minding your P's and Q's, paying attention, where you're going. I literally was behind a car last week, came across the Fort Henry, came to almost, turned his turn signal on like the ramp was still open, came to a stop. The driver realized that ramp was not open anymore, turned his turn signal off, and then decided to keep going.
Oh, boy.
So obviously people, Wheeling Police are going to be talking to us about minding your, paying attention to what you're doing. There are still construction zones out there. There are still construction workers out there. There are still emergency responders out there. So just a reminder that, okay, this ramp is going to open, but there's still a lot of work out there. So that's something we're working on today. Got a little bit on the downtown housing survey. We've got some information on that, what they want. Ironically, when it comes to my case, I saw there was something about walkability, but nothing when it comes to those of us that have to use a wheelchair to get around. So again, as not to editorialize, but as someone that does a wheelchair, again, the city of Wheeling is kind of forgetting about those of us that would love to live in downtown Wheeling, but find it nearly impossible to get around the city. So, I found that interesting in that survey.
It is. You're right. I didn't see anything about that in this housing survey, which is interesting. It goes to show where people's mindset is or is not at when they think about it. I do, however, think, and you would know better than I do, I think the streetscape plan has more handicapped accessibility, better curb cuts, more accurate, all that kind of stuff in mind when the streetscape plan comes through.
It does, but I've been talking to that. They've been talking about that for 10 years now. So,
well, you're right about that. Too.
I'm going to be 59 years old. I'd love to live in downtown Wheeling and just skirt on here to work, but there are intersections in this town that don't even have the ramps down. So you literally have to go all the way up across the street and back around just to go 10 feet. So I think the city of Wheeling's got a lot of work on that one. But we do have the results on that one, so we've got that one out there today. A couple other things we're working on, toy safety, some things people don't think about, gifts that include paint, drawing, artistic stuff. Kids could poison themselves on that. So Stephen Ruffing's working on that story today. Real quick, I know we're running out of time. Actually, we're already 10:01. But anyway,
we're out of time.
So that's what we got, guys. That's what we're working on today.
All right, noon, 5, 6, 10, whatever. It's 5:30 statewide show. Most importantly, WTF.com, and always using the apps where you keep up to date. Thanks, Bob. I appreciate it. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Talk to you out here, guys. Sorry about that.
All right, so it's not your fault. We're messed up here. We're just all messed up here, Beth. It's all my fault, or whoever pulled the plug. But I'll be back and try it again tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, another go-round of the big gig. Are you back with me?
Here for Tuesday.
We'll keep on doing it till we get it right. ABC News is already in progress.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
For every builder, fixer, and creator you know, choose from power tools, outdoor power equipment, mechanics tools, tool storage, and more. Shop in-store, online, or through our app, because there are more ways to holiday at Lowe's. And a gift from Lowe's is a gift that leads to more. U.S. only.
That beautifully designed smartphone of yours, it's about to get jealous of a toothbrush. The Oral-B iO electric toothbrush. It doesn't look or feel like any toothbrush you've ever known. You power it on, it quietly hums to life, you choose your brushing mode. Then every time you brush, you'll enjoy the wow of a professional clean feel. At home. All that, and it's winning tech awards and raves from dentists everywhere. Sorry, smartphone. There's some new tech in the house. Check out iO at Oral-B.com. Brush like a pro.
With hospitals across the country filling up again with COVID patients, a lot of healthcare workers are feeling like they're right back where they were a year ago.
With more breathless patients,
we are burnt out. We are tired and we are disheartened.
Sarah Rauner, chief nurse practitioner, Michigan's Beaumont Hospital, urging fellow Americans.
What's working right now is medicine. The vaccine prevents death and dying in most individuals.
What's sad and scary, says ER Dr. Jana Gardner-Gray, Ford Health System Detroit.
Patients that are requiring the ventilator, the overwhelming majority of them are not vaccinated.
Mask up, distance, and wash hands, they also ask. Chuck Sievertson, ABC News.
Former President Trump wrapping up a speaking tour in Dallas.
President Donald J. Trump.
At First Baptist Church of Dallas, Trump delivered what was billed as a Christmas message, but it was one tinged with a menacing observation.
There's a lot of clouds hanging over our country right now. Very dark clouds.
And while Trump did not talk about plans for another run at the White House, he added,
"We will come back bigger and better."
He then appeared before a capacity crowd at American Airlines Center. Jim Ryan, ABC News, Dallas.
New help for people fighting Alzheimer's. Biogen now says it is cutting the price of its treatment for disease by about half. The company widely criticized when the drug was introduced at a price that would cost about $56,000 a year. This is ABC News.
Dell Technologies' end-of-year sale is the perfect time to upgrade tech. Save big on the latest computers featuring Windows 11 Pro that easily automate workflows. Don't forget to shop servers, storage, and top-brand electronics with savings up to 45% and all with free shipping. Call a Dell Technologies advisor to help you transform your digital workspaces with comprehensive end-to-end solutions. Find the right tech for your business needs at 877-ASK-DELL. That's 877-ASK-DELL.
I'm Sherry Preston, ABC News.
This is Bill DeFabio, your host of the Variety Show with Bill DeFabio. Heard on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Join me from noon till 2 to talk sports, nostalgia, and hear from some of the legends of the game. You won't believe who I have on next. The Bill DeFabio Variety Show, heard on the Watchdog Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Tune in and get with the program. I'm Bill DeFabio. Join me for the Variety Show on the Watchdog.
Hello, everyone, from the Watchdog. I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your start to the work week. A mix of clouds and sunshine this afternoon, a high near 46. Call it partly cloudy overnight with a low of 26. And then for your Tuesday, you'll see a mix of clouds and sunshine with highs in the low to mid 40s. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning. Welcome to Talkline on the Metro News Radio Network. We're underway.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded.
We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
From the studios of WVRC Media and the Metro News Radio Network, the voice of West Virginia, comes the most powerful radio show in West Virginia.
This is Metro News Talk Live with Hoppy Kercheval.
Check set line up link. Activated Telos telephone. Switch network control from Charleston to Morgantown.
Stand by. Cue Hoppy. You're